Shalom family, shalom gods. I'm back with another video. I'm feeling extra good today. And we're going to be talking about this election. OMG, all the shenanigans that's been going on. I've been going for a few days. My daughter's birthday is today. So we celebrated this weekend. We went shopping Saturday, went out yesterday. And, so I hadn't been able to come to you guys and talk about this, but as you guys know, we previously did a video saying that I believe that Joe Biden was going to win the presidency. I specifically said it's so crazy because I went back and listened to a part of the video, and in the part of the video I was saying, I specifically think he's going to win because a lot of people going to vote for him because of the frequency of his name. And we're going to talk about this because it played out just like that. Now, it's people who want to be, upset about this. You guys know I discussed not going to the left or to the right. I believe, both parties may not be, exactly what they say they are. So we're going to get into that. But yeah, don't go to the left or to the right is what the scripture says. Remove thy foot from evil, okay? And we know that they call themselves the left and the right. But Joe Biden won. He won, just like I said, that he would win. That a lot of people would just show out and vote for him. Now, we have people that's upset. People who support Trump who is upset. And these people are Christians, as you guys know. We did the video about that. But, and they are upset, and it's just like they don't understand because they feel like Trump is anointed and appointed by God, okay? Look, every man in this order, everything in this season, you see what I'm saying? Even if God was using Trump, it just might be his time for, his time is over. I don't know why people, can't understand that. And this is why I think his time is over, because y'all is turning him into an idol. We're going to talk about this. They say that he is Cyrus of the prophecy, okay? Well, the Cyrus prophecy tell you that they was treating Cyrus like God in Isaiah, 45? And God say, all of you who are makers of idols, will go down with him. But all of these people is thinking that the court is going to overturn it and Trump going to get a second term. That's possible. But I don't feel it in my spirit. You know what I'm saying? I just really don't feel it in my spirit. I don't feel it in my spirit, not as this moment. Now, something can trigger something and something happen. And if that happened, I'll come back and let you guys know. But as of this moment, I just don't feel that in my spirit. Okay, I told you guys what I felt in my spirit, which was that Joe Biden was going to win based off more votes. Because we talked about that his name actually means vote. Now, I had a sister, she started inboxing me. And she ended up blocking me because I'm just like, I felt like, she was, first of all, attacking me because, she tried to play the card. You know how people throw rocks and then hide their hand? That's what she did. Well, basically what she said was people not true believers if they didn't vote for Trump. And I'm just like, how dare you? You know what I mean? Told me I wasn't wise, my discernment, and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, we gotta talk about how this matrix works. Y'all is going off emotion. Calm down. Relax. They got y'all in y'all feelings. Ooh, okay, let me take a breath. Okay. Let me talk to y'all. They got y'all in y'all feelings, okay? Yeah, I said, wow, I'm not a true believer because I didn't vote for Trump now, I guess. I said, see how they making him an idol. And then when I say you making him an idol, because even if God used him to do all of these things that you're saying, that's fine and dandy. Nobody is, you know what I'm saying, denying that. What I'm saying is we have to give credit to the author and the finisher, who is God, because God could use anybody at any time. It might be your season this season, but next season might not be your season. Okay. So y'all need to stop hanging on. Okay. Like the scripture says it's a time to build, it's a time to destroy, it's a time to live, time to die. It's a time and a season for everything, a time and a place. I'm just trying to follow God's plan. You feel me? Whatever happen. I'm just gonna do my part, and I'm just gonna do my part. Okay, I gotta just play my role. I gotta move back. See, that was a word that God had gave me, which was move out of the way. Like, we can't be trying to dictate. You know what I'm saying? We trying to you want to make the prophecy happen on your own behalf. You know what I'm saying? Just move out of the way, okay? All right. Now let's get into this because Joe Biden won. I just had to rant a little bit because I couldn't believe it. And this person actually blocked me and everything because I'm just like, is this for real? Is y'all for real? Like, so let's talk about this, okay? Because we talked about Joe Biden, and one of his name is Biden. Of course, his name is Joe, which is Joseph, short for Joseph, and it's crazy because I was watching the Kamala Harris talk. She had that white suit on or whatever. I didn't finish it, and I want to find it so I can go back and watch it because I wanted to decode some of what they were saying. But she said that one of the things that she said when she first started talking was, he is a tested and tried hand. Okay, I said, oh, yeah, this about to be something. I need to listen to this, okay? So I'm going to go back and find that. But she also called his wife Jill. She said his wife's name is Jill, and immediately I just said Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after, because Joe is a form of Jack, of the name Jack, okay? So Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Now, we don't know what that means, but just know, okay, that I'm going to put that out there. But when we talk about his last name, Biden, the word bid is in there, okay? Bid means vote. And this is why I said that these people, see, let me slow down. We have to understand how this matrix works. And how this matrix works is off frequency. So just like I told you guys that his name means bids, and that's playing on your subconscious. So even if you don't even know Joe Biden, don't know nothing about nothing, you hear him and it's like Biden, and in your subconscious, your subconscious mind is like bid. You know what I mean? Because the word is in his name. See, our subconscious mind is breaking down and computing more than our conscious mind is at that time. You see what I'm saying? It's picking up on those subtle things that your conscious mind might not get right at that time, right? So it's like bid telling you to bid. 1 second, family. Okay, family, I'm back. So as I was saying, we need to understand how this matrix works, which is off frequency, okay? And Joe Biden's name is bid in, okay? Bid in. As vowels are interchangeable, the EN can be IN. So it's bid in. Put your bid in. Put your vote in. But there's there's other words that encompass his name. Okay, so we have bind in his name, bond in his name, and band in his name as well. So we're going to look into all of those words and see, what we can see about maybe what's coming in the future. We're also going to look at Kamala Harris because I found out some interesting thing about her. Now, I think this is going to be good and bad. Okay, this is just my think, this is just what I think, that it's going to be good for some people and bad for others. Okay, remember we did the video about the great conjunction, and a lot of people has been talking about the great conjunction lately. But I did a video on it. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. And but when you watch the Dark Crystal and they're talking about the great conjunction, she says good for some, bad for others. It could be the beginning, it could be the end, type of thing. So I think that's what I feel like we dealing with here when I look into all of this, because it's like I see good things, but then I see things like, whoa, you know what I mean? So let's take a look. So of course we got this word band, as I said, bind, buy, den. If we rearrange those letters, we can get bind, and then if we interchange the vowels, we can get band, bend, bond. So let's look into these words. Band is a flat strip, also something that binds. Middle English, bendy. That is so funny. Bendy, OMG. My son keep watching this demon cartoon called Bendy, and I keep trying to take this. I don't know who made this crap, but he like addicted, and I'm so sick of hearing it in my house. I just want to break every device, and like I can't stop him from playing it at least once a day. I'm just like, every time I hear it, I'm like, I said, don't play that no more. OMG, Bendy. It could be that God is trying to get my attention with some symbolic, and I'm not paying attention. So maybe today, if he play it, which I know he will, because when he on the computer right now for school, as soon as they go on lunch at about 11:30, 12ish, he gonna get on YouTube. So I'm a listen, but it's just, they talk about demons and all that. I just be like, no, cut it off. And I'm not even that type. I like to, so maybe I'm pushing something on my child that I'm not even, you feel what I'm saying? So, bendy, from the Old English bend, bond, fetter, shackle, chain, that by which someone or something is bound. Ribbon, ornament, chaplet. Now, an ornament, okay, God calls her people ornaments, okay, and I will bind you on me as an ornament, or as like ornaments, as jewels, okay? So jewelry, ornament, chaplet, crowned. Okay, so we got crown. Y'all know we've been talking about this crown all year, with coronavirus meaning crown, the wife being the crown. So we've been talking about this. With later senses and spelling from cognate Old Norse band, and technical senses from Old French bandy, strip, edge, side. All three ultimately from the Proto-Germanic benden, to bind. Okay, now to bind what? When I hear bind, I keep hearing what you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and what you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Now I'm just telling y'all everything that's coming through as a medium, but I don't have all the pieces together yet, okay? The meaning of flat strip is from French and Middle English. This was sometimes distinguished by the spelling bandy, bandi, but with the loss of the terminal E. The words have fully merged via the notion of flat strip, a flexible material used to wind around something. To wind around something, and we know the crown is to compass. So it's a meaning, broad strip of color, ray of colored light, like a rainbow, is from late 14C, the electronic sense of range of frequencies or wavelengths. So right there, we got the frequency, talking about the frequency in this man's name. After I told y'all that it was going to be the frequency of his name that draw a lot of people to him to vote for him, even though they don't fully know what he about, okay? Because they just going with the frequency, okay? They subconsciously played on your frequency. They knew what they was doing. But because you weren't consciously aware that, you could be drawn to vote for him just be on the basis of his name. You're not thinking that, you thinking it's your own choice to go and vote, okay? Which I'm not saying that it ain't, but I'm saying it's more so of the frequency drawing you. And we don't even realize that. And that's why I titled this video, You Didn't Vote for Joe Biden. I mean, you didn't choose Joe Biden. He chose you, okay? And that's so funny because it's a scripture, and I don't know. I was saying that in a sarcastic way. This is scripture that say, you have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. Okay. OMG, this is getting deep. Okay, look. The electronic sense of the range of frequencies or wavelengths is from 1922. So most of the figurative sense, legal or moral commitment, captivity, imprisonment. Okay, so this is where we hear, oh Lord, captivity, imprisonment. This is where it get like, oh wait, what? Captivity, imprisonment. So, which originally was a phonetic variant of this band. The Middle English form of the word is retained in heraldic band, broad diagonal strip on the coat of arms. An organized group, originally especially of armed man, from French bandy, which is traceable to the proto-Germanic root of band, via a band of, and the scripture talk about Gomer and all his bands, okay? So, band perhaps via a band of cloth worn as a mark of identification by a group of soldiers or others. A sign. Okay, now wait till we get to Kamala Harris, because her name means sign too. So it's like, it's some stuff that I see in here that's making me be like, but then it's like, like, so look. But perhaps from the Middle English bond, force that unites, bond, tie. So a force that unites, cords that binds, act of binding, also confederacy. The extension to group of musicians, 1660, originally musicians, okay, to bind or fasten, also to join in a company, from band in various senses, partly. So what's happening is definitely the gathering. I believe the frequency on these people is telling us the frequency that's going on. We talked about it being the harvest and the gathering. People is going to band together, whether that be, if you banding together with God's people or you banding together, it's the separation. People is going to band to where. So I see a gathering together, okay? And wherever you band together, whatever you join yourself to, the scriptures say, he who joined himself to a harlot, it's a harlot, etc. So people about to start joining themselves together, gathering together, banding together, okay, with those of like minds, okay? It's what I see from, this band, this, so to join as in marriage, okay? So let's look at bond. Now, all of these words got similar meanings, but some of them say a little bit different from, give us a little bit more information. So bond, because see, bond mean householder. And we talked about the wife being the householder and when the woman is a householder, okay, bond. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what I think going to happen, and this is not, I haven't received confirmation on this or nothing, so this is just a thought, so don't go running with it and say, oh, she said so-and-so and so. Okay, but I'm going to tell y'all what I think going to happen after, when we get to the end of this video. So, bind, anything that binds, fasten, or confines, phonetic variant, a band, and at first interchangeable with it. For vowel change, see long adjective. Also influenced by unrelated Old English banda, householder, literally dweller. It preserves more distinctly than ban the connection with bind and bound, and is now the main or only form in the sense of restraining or uniting force. So we see a uniting force, people reuniting, and then we talked about the restrainer in the video where I said Trump was going to win. I actually talked about the restrainer, and the restrainer or son of perdition. What I said is a group of people could possibly represent a group of people who are restraining the love of God. Okay, so restraining or uniting force from early 14th century, an agreement or covenant, okay, as a binding or uniting power or influence. So people, like I said, people is about to choose. Everybody picking a side. Y'all see how people is divided, okay? People like Joe Biden, people like Trump, and then you got us in the middle like, hold up, wait, we with God. Look, you know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? So, an agreement or covenant as a binding or uniting power or influence, okay, legalistic sense, an instrument binding one to pay a sum to another. He already said he was going to raise taxes, meaning a method of laying bricks and courses is from 1670s in chemistry of atoms. So, to put in bond, from bond, held together from being bonded. In a state of... Okay, family, so I'm going to make this a two-part. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris in the next video. It's just too much going on in my house right now and with my children, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. So the Old English form was banda, bunda, husbandman, householder, husbandman, householder. But the Middle English word probably is from Old Norse banda, a contradiction, occupier, and tiller of soil. See, Adam was the husbandman and the tiller of soil. Okay. It's funny, man, because for some reason I want to just say that what if Kamala Harris and Joe Biden is the two witnesses? We said it would be a man and a woman. And they say I will give power to my two witnesses. Okay. But meaning, and I always felt like it would probably be some type of governmental power because God would want us to know, look, I'm giving power. You know what I'm saying? But don't run with that. Don't run with that. Don't run with that. Don't run with that because it's many interpretations of the two witnesses. So if you hear me say, don't be like, oh, you said it was a group. Yes, it's many interpretations. It's very multidimensional. So, but anyway, the two witnesses represent a man and a woman. Now, we're not going to run with that, okay? But a lot of what I'm saying make me think about this, okay? Especially when we get into Kamala's name. But we're going to do that in the next video. So to be, exist, grow, to dwell, okay? So I say in the more despotic Norway and Denmark, Bondi became a word of contempt, denoting the common low people. In the Icelandic Commonwealth, the word was a good sense and is often used of the foremost man. The sense of the noun deteriorated in English after the conquest and the rise of the feudal system, from free farmer to serf to slave. And the word became associated with unrelated bonds. So he has something to do with like slave. Now, we don't know if he's going to make slaves or is he going to be liberated. See, when we get into Kamala Harris' name, we see spiritual liberation and things like that. So it's just like, what is really going on? But like, as I said, it could be good for some, bad for others. And what do I mean by this? It really depends on your frequency. See, we got to wait till it play out. We really don't know what frequency this is on. This could be all an act, okay? And they could be bad. But what I mean by depending on what frequency you on, so maybe it depends on like your perception of life, I guess I want to say, right? So like if you keeping the commandments and everything, really, God gave us the commandments to keep us out of anything. If you keeping the commandments, you shouldn't really be in no troubles, right? But let's say people who not keeping the commandments, people who still kill, murder, they may feel persecuted by certain laws that are put in place, etc., etc. And in that fact, they would be against, You know what I'm saying? But then we have, on the other hand, the people who are not in that situation, who not kill, steal, murder, and, whatever, who these laws don't affect. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it depends on where you are. And I've been telling y'all, we need to raise our frequency. We need to raise our vibration. We gods. I call y'all gods, okay? Because if we so above it, it can't even touch us. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean by, you see how I just explained how if you're not if you're not a murderer, laws about murderers probably really won't affect you. If you're not a drug dealer, laws about drugs probably really won't affect you. I mean, unless you got like family members and all that. But I'm talking about you personally. And your personal being, okay? And look, it's 10 o'clock, 1000 when I look up. So this is what I mean by about your frequency, your perception. Some things that you may feel persecuted about, somebody else might not be worried about. So this is what I mean by good for some, bad for others. But we're going to see how this play out. And the word became associated. Okay, bond. It said an electrical force linking atoms. A certificate of debt, usually interest bearing or discounted, that is issued by a government or corporation in order to raise money. Okay, so it's a certificate of debt, usually interest bearing or discounted, that is issued by a government or corporation in order to raise money. The issuer is required to pay a fixed sum annually until maturity and then a fixed sum to repay the principal. Bond, a connection based on kinship or marriage or common interest. Bond, criminal law, money that must be fortified by the bondsman if an accused person fails to appear in court for trial. Bond, a restraint that confines or restricts freedom, especially something used to tie down or restrain a prisoner. And this is what I said. The restrainer is a person or a group of people who restrains the love of God, okay? Restricts freedom, a connection that fastens things together. A superior quality of strong, durable white writing paper, originally made from printing documents. Bond, the property of sticking together, as of glue and wood, or the joining of surfaces of different compositions. To create social or emotional ties, stick to family, issue bonds on, bring together in common cause or emotion. United States civil rights leader who was elected to the legislature in Georgia but was barred from taking his seat because he opposed the Vietnam War. Bond, British secret operative 007 and novels by Ian Fleming. Okay, James Bond. Okay, so now let's look. We did ban, we did bond. Let's look at bind. To tie up with bonds. Also to make captive. To cover with dressings and bandages. To bind. German binden. To bind, okay, sense of stick together, cohere, okay, bind, anything that binds, in various senses, lay Old English from bind, meaning tight or awkward situation. Stick to firmly, create social or emotional ties, make fast, tie, or secure with, or as if with a rope, wrap around with something so as to cover or enclose, to secure with, or as if with ropes. Bind by an obligation, cause to be indebted. Provide with a binding. Fasten or secure with a rope, string, or cord. Form a chemical bond with. Cause to be constipated. Something that hinders, as with bonds, okay? So it's a separation happening is what I believe we see it happening, okay? We see it happening. And I believe that we choosing, okay, I talked about the temple as being measured a while ago. And right now, you see people, they signing their contracts, okay? They signing their contracts. And this is why I said don't vote, because people is signing their contracts right now. And what do I mean by that? I did a video about what signing a contract, a spiritual contract means. You sign spiritual contracts just based off your actions. So this is what I mean. Just by going to vote, that's the action that you support this and you are with it, and you agree with this process still. So you have joined. You're joined with it. Okay, you part of it. And this is why I didn't vote, because I'm not sure what God got going on right now. But I felt like it was better for me to not vote, okay? Because I'm not putting in no contracts, okay? What I kept telling people was that you casting lots. You're going to cast lots. Okay, you're going to cast your vote. You're going to cast lots. And I really don't think that we should be casting lots for these people. Like, that's what they did. They kept wanting to choose a king over them. That's what the Israel did, okay? Instead of choosing God. Well, no, I'm going to choose God this time. But do I believe that God will still use Joe Biden and Kamala because they are in a position? And this is what I just said about Trump. Just because God used Trump, if God used Trump, and he was the anointed Cyrus, okay, so God still said she was going to destroy Cyrus, so it don't matter. But this is what I'm saying. If God was using Trump or whatever for a time, God can use whoever. That don't mean that they just gonna be continued to be used forever, okay? So if God was using Trump, this is what I mean. Let me say it clear like this, okay? So, because I was losing track of my thought. This is what I'm saying. God is not a respecter of persons. We talked about this in the last video. And what I mean by that is if you're in a position for God to use you, God will use you, okay? So if you're the president and God need to make something happen and the president is the only one who can do it, God will use you. Even though you might not be God's first choice, okay? You might not be God's first choice. But if you're in that position, God gonna use you. So this is what I'm saying about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I'm not supporting them. I didn't vote for them. And I'm not saying, everybody, no. But what I'm saying is, if they do end up staying in office, God is going to use them because they're in a position to be used. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's 10-10, okay? But when they position, it is no longer of value to God. If they are not in alignment with God, God will throw them to the curb just like Trump. Okay, this is what I'm saying. See, we need to stop thinking because God chose somebody to use them that mean that we gotta worship. No. Listen, the energy is just playing out. You need to pay attention to the energy. Pay attention to the story. Don't get caught up in the characters, okay? And that's all I'm going to say. And we're going to talk about Kamala Harris in the next video. Shalom, family. Love you guys till we meet again.